Hello everybody, this is Kaizen here, and welcome back to another episode here on this FTB Beyond series. Now, I've been doing quite a lot of work off camera, so I thought the first thing I'd do today is show you a few things that you haven't seen since episode 1. So, one thing I did was upgraded our redstone furnace. So if we go to thermal expansion a second, I'll show you how I did that. I used one of these things, a hardened upgrade kit. So it takes just some invite ingots, a bronze gear, which is pretty easy to make, and that was basically all there was to it. So I did that in order to speed this up. Let's see, if I chuck in a raw beef into here, you'll see that this is very quick now, a lot quicker than it was before, which is great. The other thing that the upgrade does is it allows me to do something called augmentation. So these things here are all different augmentation tabs. So for example, this one here with the food on it, this is how you make it, pretty easy recipe to be honest. And what it does is it says here, gain additional food when cooking. So for each, I believe, like if I chucked a raw beef in here and that augmentation slot was taken up with this upgrade, then I would get twice as much cooked beef from it. So that's very cool and will certainly be very useful because we can have all different ones. One of them does, let's see, is it this one maybe? I know one of them that destroys excess secondary outputs. Okay, so that's not the good one. There's one that sort of allows for ore doubling. Oh, there we go. Gain an additional ingot when smelting ore. So if I put that in there, I wouldn't have to put everything through the sag mill first to get the dust, and then put it through the redstone furnace. With that augmentation in there, this one here, the flux anodizers, it will basically ore double for me. So that's going to be quite useful. It will save on power and time and that sort of thing. So pretty cool little upgrade that we've done there, will be very useful. And in the future, I probably will look to make some more of these upgrade kits as well, because they don't look too difficult to do. And each of them, has their own thing that they do when you use them as an upgrade. But anyway, that's that machine upgraded. We also have an alloy smelter. It's useful for all different kinds of recipes and things. There's 411 recipes, as you can see here, so all kinds of things. What's that one? Redstone and gold. That gives you energetic alloy, okay. Oh, and glowstone. But yeah, so all of these things, and we need obviously these different things for different recipes and whatever. So that's just to allow that. And the atomic reconstructor has obviously gone over here, so yeah, that's still there. It's just kind of stored there. It's not connected to power or anything at the moment, because I want to get a base set up, and that's why I've cleared a big area here. So if we just have a little run over here, this has all now been flattened. I've got rid of all the cactus and the sticks and all that sort of stuff that were in the way. Not sticks, these things, dead bushes that they give you sticks. So all that's gone. I flattened a bit of an area near the village to get the sand to fill that in. And we've got a nice area here now where we can look to start putting some sort of base together. Obviously, as you've seen here as well, I've got my tinkers set up, my furnace, and my smeltery, I should say. Not as big as the last one because it doesn't need to be at the moment. It will probably get moved anyway once we move, but it is now all set up with all of our things here. And we have one of these chests here, but it's getting pretty full up, as you can see. So actually, one thing I was going to do is there's a chest upgrade that you can do, and I can turn it into an iron chest. So let's see, wood up to iron chest upgrade, and all we need is iron and planks. So let's actually do that now a second. I want more storage there because, as you can see, it's getting pretty full up. So we just need a load of iron and just one plank. There we go. So that'll be a pretty useful little upgrade for us to do, and very easy to do as well. So I guess we just go and right-click the chest, and that should turn it into an iron chest. And then you can upgrade it further in the future as well. There we go, that's given us a lot more storage space. Now, if you've been quite like a detective and seen in my inventory, I've got these slime boots here and these slime slings. The slime boots and the slime sling are very easy to make. You just need these slime balls, and a congealed block is just 4 balls together, so pretty easy to make them. What they basically do is allow you to fall when you're wearing these boots, and the sling allows you to shoot yourself off like this. That was a pretty bad one, but you can just jump around and do all this kind of stuff. And yeah, it makes travel a lot quicker. Fall damage is essentially turned off when you use them, so there's some advantages to it. And the reason I made it is because, if I just bring myself back over here, you may have seen earlier in this video there was some blue slimes jumping around. I'm not sure what's happened to them, they've despawned now. But I've got this slime island here, and the slimes are spawning, and some of them are falling off, and basically not dying because they're big. The big slimes sort of hitting the floor, not dying, and then just jumping around. Which is kind of cool because I'm getting loads of slime balls from it. As you can see here, I've been doing this a little bit before I start recording. But it's a bit annoying as well because they're just kind of jumping around all over my base. And so I need to figure out something to do with this island. I don't know if I'll do that today. I might see what suggestions you guys come up with. But I basically just want to stop that from happening. So yeah, we need to take a look at that. The cow farm is working very nicely, so it's out of wheat at the moment, but it has been breeding the cows for me. You'll see that I've got 35 cooked beef on me, so that all came from that farm, of course. So yeah, that's pretty good. Nice, easy way of doing your early game farming. And I made myself a cobalt hammer, an obsidian pick, and a cobalt excavator. Needed the obsidian pick to get all that cobalt from the nether. So that's all looking pretty good. And let's, while we're on the subject of the nether, let's just take a little walk into here a second, and I'll show you our where we've spawned in the nether. Alrighty. So this is it. It's an absolutely awful place. I've bridged up there onto mainland, but it's obviously just a little 1x1, and very scary every time I come in here. So yeah, this needs to be upgraded. That's why I'm showing you, because it's something I might look to do, if not this episode, probably in one of the upcoming episodes, make a bit of a better nether base. Okay, so I think that's everything that I've done off camera. I've done lots of like farming and that sort of stuff as well, but I think that's all of the big changes that you guys now know about, so that's very cool. On to what we're going to do today. I cleared this area so that we could start making a base, and I think what we want to do is wall off an area and then build within it. So I may need to do a little bit more clearing first, because like this here, for example, we could probably take this back a little bit, and with the excavator it does this 3x3 area each time, so it's not too bad having to clear land out and stuff. It happens pretty quickly. Very useful little tool that I've got there for what we do. And I don't want it to be like just a big square, and with this landscape it won't be anyway, so I'll kind of just build up like a wall that goes off in a random sort of direction, and then look to kind of get like a protected base that we can start building in and doing machines and that sort of thing. So what I think I'll do is go and get the perimeter done, and think of some plans for the inside, and then I'll come back and give you an update, and we'll have a look at how that's sort of taken shape and where we're going to go from there. Okay guys, well as you can probably see from here, I've done a lot off camera, got a little bit carried away to be honest, and built this big kind of walled off complex. Now this wall is temporary, it's just to make things easier for when I'm going to be sort of marking things out, keeping mobs out, that sort of thing, and just giving myself a bit of a perimeter to work with to start some sort of base. So I thought I'd just give you a bit of an aerial view there, so you got a good idea of what's going on in here. And there's been a few other changes as well that I'll just go through. So I got rid of the walled off area that was in here, the cobble walled area. That's where we started off. My machines and things are still intact, because obviously I'm still using them. We've extended our farm slightly in that we've got the sheep farm going on here. And where the wheat farm was before, I decided I'd make a big farming area. So I've got rid of the wheat farm that was there. And if we go out the back here, now I need to add things in like doors and things. This is obviously not very good at the moment. But we've got a big wheat farm and some sugarcane growing as well out the back here. So the point of that was I figured that I will need this early game a lot of wheat, because it's useful for bread, which you can turn into toast, which I'm going to come on to in a second actually, and also for breeding animals and things. But I figured this farm wouldn't be a waste, because although I'll only need the wheat probably in the early game and then less so as we progress, I will need to farm other things. There's a big range of things that you can farm on this game, all different types of seeds and plants and flowers and crops and all sorts that you can farm. So I figured it wouldn't be a waste to have this. As you can see, I've got loads of these compost heaps now ready as well, and that will be something I'll be doing as well, making lots of fertilizer and that sort of thing. So that's going to be our farming area, at least in the short term, out there. And when I said I might need it for food, if I show you here, I've got all of this food at the moment, all this bread. And what I want to do actually is, I was using this for something else, so I want to put that back in there, because that's how I managed to get so much of this, so I don't want to forget that. Now what I want to do is turn the bread that I've got, which gives me, you can see there, the hunger that it restores is 2.5 bars and 3 saturation. If I get toast though, let's just type it in, I don't think any of that was it. So toast is here, you can see there, it gives me 3.5 of the restoration of hunger and a massive saturation bar restoration. And it's pretty easy to make. I only need to make one of these bakewares, and then I can add in the bread to it and get my toast. So one of these is just a few bricks, which I have on me. So I was going to do that now on camera, and this will pretty much be our food requirements sorted out for the early game. And probably for longer than that even. It'll probably be sorted for quite some time. So if I put that in there, and I get myself a stack of bread, and chuck that in there as well, we get our toast. And the best thing about it is it doesn't use up this, so we only need to make that once. So this 64 toast, I mean that will last me so long. So really, once I've got all of this turned into toast, it's going to be pretty great. The other thing as well I can use it for is RF production. So if I put that in a culinary generator, I think, let's have a look at this. So the toast is, in fact, was it telling me just then? Yeah, okay. So 65,601 RF at 56 RF per tick. Now if I compare that to the bread, I think we need this open for it to tell us. Yeah, so a huge difference in terms of what I can do in RF production as well. So there's that potential for making a lot of power out of it as well, particularly with the farm that we've got going on there. Now, obviously, the farm at the moment is a manual farm, which isn't something you have to do. You can auto farm this stuff with these mod packs. But for now, I think that's fine, just to have it how it is, and I'll look to improve it in the future as and when we need. So, why have I Waterford Big Complex and what's going on in here? Well, basically what I want to do is, and actually, yeah, let's go this way. I've built this sort of temporary staircase thing going on here. Very attractive little staircase here. So if we go up here, you can see that the village is right there. Now, what I was thinking is if I build myself a village in here, we could kind of connect the two up. So we could have my village with all my machines, all this kind of stuff going on, and then the village here I could convert it and do different things with it in the future, and I think the whole thing would look pretty good. So this would be kind of the old-timey, sandy, deserty village, and then this will be like the city, like the more modern thing with all the modern builds and modern machines and that sort of thing. So that's what I'm going to look to do. So I thought the first thing that I would do, given the time that I've got left to record this episode, and given the fact that we don't currently have any buildings, it seemed like a good place to start would be with a bit of a house to live in. So I'd have like my bedroom in there and a few other things. One thing I wanted to try actually, if we have, yes we do, okay, we need the leather and some sticks here. Just get rid of my baking tray there. So if I make up an item frame, and if I just place that on like here for now, just sleep because I don't want mobs spawning in here if I can avoid that. We still got the issue, of course, with Slime Island mobs. So yeah, Slime Island's up there, and we'll probably go up there and have a look at some point and see what we can figure out with that. But back to what I was doing here for a second. So if I put an item frame there, now inside this backpack we've got, well, just a few random items actually, but there are items in there basically. So if I put the backpack in there, I didn't mean to rotate it, and then when I take it out again, aha, yes, the items are still there, so that's pretty cool. I was wondering if that would work. So what I was thinking is, I'm making a house, and obviously I'll have a bed in there to sleep in and that sort of thing, but what else can I do with it, and what else do I want to do with it? And that was one of the things I was thinking. If I have, obviously my bed, that's my spawn point, so if I die, it'd be useful to have a few backpacks maybe hung up on item frames with different things, so we could have like an explorer's backpack, and I've just died, I've got to go recover my items backpack, so it'd be filled with like food, basic tools, armor, that sort of thing, and then in the future I could add to it and put in like jetpacks and that sort of thing. So yes, that's pretty cool, and I'll probably have a think about a few other ideas as well that we can include in our house. Now one thing I wanted to do as well is get started on using this mod. This is Chisels and Bits. Now if you haven't seen this mod before or what it can do, it really is an incredible mod. In fact, I'll give you a little demonstration in a second, because making a chisel is very easy to do. So let's get one of those made up. Take that, and we'll get our diamond chisel. Does it need to be side on? There we go. Wait, that was the wrong one, wasn't it? Oh, it needs to be placed in a different format, so I've just made a chisel for nothing, that's okay. There we go. So that's the chisel we wanted, not that one. Now I can go back in there for now. Now essentially what it does is it lets you manipulate blocks at a level starting from just a single pixel. So every little bit of this block, every little pixel in this block, I can change, and I can harvest it out and get rid of it if I want to. So there's a little hole there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little hole there, and I could make a little hole going right the way through here if I wanted to, make sort of a line, and it basically allows you to come up with anything you can imagine. So you see there's a little groove in it. I can change this as well, so at the moment it's doing single bits. I can make it do cubes, I can make it do connected materials and things, and drawn regions. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do, and I'll come back on to exactly how that works in the future. But where have my bits gone? There they are. So we get our little bits here, and we can then place them back in. So if we want to add to a block or change a block by adding these bits, we can do that. So I wanted to start using that for my house and make it look pretty cool. I think I've really messed this design up. I was trying to just put the block back together. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited to use this because I think it's going to be huge potential. And there you go, see it comes back into a stone block once you place it all back in there. So anyway, I need one of those. I also need a chiseled bit bag, so okay, I'm going to need some wool for that. Oh, and a tape measure would be good as well. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do... Oh, see, I told you about these slimes, right? They are constantly coming down and being a pain. But anyway, what I'll do is I'll go now and do some stuff off camera and get myself a bit of an area ready. I think we'll build the house up in that corner and we'll come off from there. And then we'll have a look and start building the house together and see what we want to do in terms of how we're going to build it and that sort of thing. Alrighty guys, well I've just spent quite a long time off camera playing around with the Chisel and Bits mod, doing a couple of things, and I thought I would just go over them with you now and kind of talk through what I've done and how to use them, because this mod is really fun. And if you've got this mod pack, or if you're using any kind of mod pack that has Chisel and Bits in it, then I'd definitely recommend getting into it, because it is a really quite an in-depth mod. Now when you go onto the JEI and you have a look at what's in Chisel and Bits, it doesn't look like there's much to it, because you've just got a few basic tools and a couple of other things here. And you know, you would think, oh, it's not that complex, but it absolutely is. So I'm going to get into it now as to what I've done. And what I did was built this house here. See there, Kaizen's house. So most of this is Chisels and Bits, but the roof and the windows is Architecture Craft. Architecture Craft is another one that is very in-depth, but again doesn't look like much when you come on here. Just looks like a few tools and things. The big thing though with it is this here, this saw bench, and it's pretty easy to make as well. The recipe is there, so just one of these, which is just wood, and one of those, which is just iron and a stick, and then the rest of it is just iron and some more sticks. So pretty easy to make them. And then you've got all this different stuff that you can make. So if I put, let's say I wanted the windows here that I've been using, I put wood in there and I get one wood to make two of those type of windows. And same for the roofs and everything else. It's pretty easy. And you're getting a little look inside the house. Now, I see quite a simple house inside, haven't gone too overboard. This whole thing took me quite a long time, because I've never really used Chisels and Bits before. I've seen it used and I knew how to use it, but I haven't actually done anything with it before. So what I'll do just quickly is kind of explain a few things to you. So at the moment you see on the floor there it says 9 meters and 9 meters with a 1 meter down gap. So what I did is, this is the tape measure that I used in order to do that. And basically on here we can select colours, and then we can select how we want to do things with distances. So you can measure the distance between 2 points, measure the blocks, which is what I did there, or measure the bits, and you can have all different colours. So if I wanted to do a lime green and do the blocks, I could sort of measure like this, and then it kind of shows me what's going on. And then shift right click to get rid of them. So I just measured out a little area that I thought would be a good size for my house. So that's the tape measure. The bit bag has got all different bits. Now if I shift, it shows you what the bits are. And as you can see here, they stack in bits of 512, which is very useful. But what I'll do is, if I've got something in here that would work, so just a normal piece of cobblestone there, if I had to place that down, when I use my chisel, and again I can use this in all different types of ways, if I use the plane on it, it takes a plane off at a time. You see there, or I could come on this face and take a plane off this way. But when you get rid of that, you get all these little bits, and they just go everywhere like that, and that's why you need one of these bit bags to store them in. And it looks like I've run out of space in this bit bag. Do I have one that's like empty? I guess I do not. I thought I did. Oh, this one's semi-empty, I guess. So we can put some of this stuff in here. And you can see now why it stacks to such a degree. So if you're holding one of these and you run around, it will just pick that up for you. I just want to get these sand bits, and when you place them, you've got this option as well. So I'm not really trying to give you a tutorial as such, because there's a lot of them out there, but just trying to explain how I did a few of these things. So basically this is just like logs that I've chipped away at to create this kind of effect on the edges of the corners. There's one there, there's one here by the door, and another one down there, and there. Took away bits in the middle. So that's how I did that, just took away like little bits of those. You can see I've got windows, these are Architecture Craft, but then the chiseling bits to create these effects around the windows, and I've chiseled all of these bricks back a bit so that the corners kind of stick out a bit. The roof as well, we've got a little lip on the roof, we've got a lattice at the top there. All of this sign here, this is all chiseling bits. This is Architecture Craft, these windows, and you can actually walk through them, so that's pretty cool. I guess that means that mobs can as well, but I'm not too worried about that because this will be all lit up in the end. And then inside here, I've just kind of capped the roof up there, and there is a bit of space up there if I want to do something in the future, maybe put a ladder up or something. The lighting needs improving and perhaps some decoration inside. It just took me quite a long time to do what I did in terms of making the house. And I got some backpacks there. I figured I didn't need to waste the iron at this stage of the game on iron backpacks because I just won't need it. Those will be fine for me to go off exploring with or whatever when I die and respawn, or if I just generally want to go exploring. And this side again, just a similar thing with the windows and a bit of a door frame there as well. And around here, pretty plain this side. I have chiseled all the bricks back though, and also we've got this kind of corner window thing which is pretty cool. So because this was my first time using it, and because I wanted to kind of show off what this mod can do a little bit in this episode, as I would be using it so much, I've tried to do a little bit of everything. So we've got some things that we've chipped away at, we've got some things that we've added on to in terms of the lattice there, obviously the windows, we've got a little sign there going on, and yeah, just some basic sort of detail. I think as I get to know this mod more and more, I'll be able to do some much better things with it. But as a little starter house for now, I'm pretty happy with how that's going. And to be honest, I think we've got a good start here. We've got a big walled off compound. We've got our house there with a bed all set up. We've got our Tinker's smeltery. Now that no doubt will be moved, but we have it for now. Cow farm, sheep farm. I need to make sure that I get the grass going on for the sheep though, because at the moment they are just on sand, and that's why they're kind of naked sheep there at the moment. Got some basic machines set up here as well. And obviously we've got loads of bread, which I can turn into toast, or maybe even, well, turn it into toast either way, but then either eat it or use it for energy. And we've got a big farm out the back here, which is ready for harvesting, and I will do that off camera later on. Lots of compost heaps as well, so I can hopefully get some compost going. So I'm pretty happy with how things have gone here. I think, obviously we've got a nether portal set up as well, again that'll probably be moved. But what I think I'll do is kind of build out from this corner. So we've got like this going on, and I think I'll make it like a little town. So there's a house there. We'll build a little pathway going off into something going on here, and there's some houses over there, or different buildings for different things. And I think that's going to be the general idea of how we progress. But let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know what you think. Whether there's any improvements you'd make to this, any changes you'd make, what you think of the general concept, what you think of this building, all that kind of stuff. Let me know what you think, and yeah, we will see what we can do from there. Now, the other thing I'm going to need to get set up pretty soon is some storage. I've got some basic storage at the moment, those crates, and I was looking actually, I think it's called a golden sack, maybe not, or a sack of holding, it's something like that, bag of holding maybe, bag of holding, there we go. So 6 ingots, a couple of chests, and some magical wood, which is a bookshelf with a gold ingot. Okay, it's not too bad to make. Someone was telling me about these. So if I get a bag of holding, basically what I can do is, once I'm holding that in my hand, I can go over to one of these chests here, and if we look at like this chest here, it's got all this stuff inside. If I think shift right click with the bag of holding, it will pick that up with all the items still inside. So that's pretty cool. And I think also I can put a bag of holding inside one of these. So therefore, if you have enough bags, you can have an unlimited storage in just one storage space. So that is really quite cool. But storage and that sort of thing is something I need to look at setting up later. Probably the next thing to do is set up some sort of power generation system, and then from there we can do things like quarrying or natural tree farming and all that sort of stuff. But first of all, we will need the power. So I hope you like this episode, guys. I hope you like the look of this house. I think it's kind of like, it's okay for now, but I don't think this is how this house will end up. I'm sure there will be great suggestions from you guys, and I'm sure I will work on this over time. But it took me quite a long time to figure out this mod and kind of do all the research and stuff on it and get to this stage. So I didn't want to waste too much time, because at the moment it is just somewhere for me to sleep, and I'm quite keen to get on with the rest of the stuff, because there's so many complex mods in here that are just like worth spending so much time on, and I can't wait to sort of get started on. But yeah, so let me know your thoughts, guys, on the episode, on the concept, everything else. And as always, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time.